I want to talk to you about PenFed Product Change and how you can do it and what are the hacks you need to be aware of. So here's the overview I want you to pay attention to. So when we talk about PenFed Product Change, you have to understand that PenFed doesn't have they only have a four credit cards. So you're not going to have a litany of credit cards. And it's really important before you affect any product change with PenFed to really understand that whatever products you have and the one you want to upgrade to, basically there must be synchronization. I'll explain a little one what that means. And by default, PenFed does not do product change. You got to be in very specific situations where you can qualify for a product change, but they don't you can't just call them right now and say, I want to do a product change. But I'll show you there are other ways to actually affect a PenFed product change. So there are four credit cards that you need to really navigate from and to as you're thinking about PenFed. So you have the Platinum Rewards Visa Signature card. You have the Power Cash Rewards Visa Signature. You have the Gold Visa card, and the fourth one is the Pathfinder Rewards Visa Signature. So when we talk about the Platinum Rewards, this is a card that really is great for rewards, as the name implies. So you have a 5x points on gas paid at the pump and EV charging station, 3x points at the supermarkets, including most Targets and Walmart locations, restaurants, and TV, radio, cable, streaming services. So if you are thinking about upgrading your plan to having this rewards, you will love the Platinum Rewards. You have 15,000 bonus points when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. You also have Power Cash Rewards Visa Signature. So this card is great if you are looking to affect a product change for a cash rewards credit card, and you have 2% cash back on all purchases for if you are a PenFed Honors Advantage member, and then you have 1.5% cash back on all purchases. You don't have to be a PenFed Honors. So if you are not a PenFed Honors Advantage, you are getting 1.5%. And the cool thing about this card is that you have a $100 bonus statement credit when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. Why am I really reminding all this? Because I'm reminding you this because if you have to affect a product change, you better know what kind of a product you are going to and from. Really, really important. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. So when we talk about PenFed product change, you have to really understand that you have to account for the signature rewards you are thinking about, the signature card benefits. I want to quickly talk to you about the benefits depending on the card that you have. So you have to ask yourself whether a product change is actually worth it in the first place. So you have traditional benefits, and then you have signature benefits. So traditional benefits are available on all four plans, on all four credit cards, the Gold, the Power Cash, the Platinum, and the Pathfinder, as you saw on the screen. So you have everything from cell phone protection. That's really good. So this is cell phone protection for you and your family. So if you lose your cell phone throughout the year, basically PenFed will, of course, if you're paying your cell phone bills with the card, then PenFed will reimburse you. You have emergency card replacement and cash disbursement. You have lost and stolen card reporting, roadside dispatch, and travel accident insurance. So that's really cool in terms of flexibility. And then, so that's for the traditional benefits. Then you have the signature benefits. So the signature benefits are only available on the Power Cash, Platinum, and Pathfinder. So if you currently have the Gold, you're not going to enjoy those benefits. So what are those benefits? You have entertainment, you have fine wine and food. That's really good in terms of flexibility for you and your family. You have purchase security, shopping discounts, sports and golf benefits. I'm showing you this on the screen so you have a clear idea what you're getting yourself into. You have a Visa Signature Concierge. This is really good if you actually entertain a lot and you want to have this sort of or entertain or travel a lot. The Visa Signature Concierge is really cool. And you have year-end summary statement. You also have a travel signature. So and the travel signature benefits are only available on the Pathfinder. So you have auto rental collision damage waiver, baggage delay reimbursement, lost luggage reimbursement, and trip delay reimbursement. So that's one of those things where this is a pretty cool area of benefits if you are in the market for those. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about PenFed product change. Now, right off the bat, and here is the approach I want you to pay attention to. Basically, I've said this before, and I want to reiterate it when it comes to PenFed product change. PenFed doesn't do product changes, so anything new will be a new application. Okay, so they don't do product changes unless you have very specific circumstances that will really you will convince them that you can affect a product change. For instance, if you have a significant change in your financial situation, PenFed can do a product change without having a new application. In other words, they don't even do a soft pull. They don't do a pull at all. So if you have a significant change in your financial situation, or there is a significant change in your family situation, let's say you are single and then now you are married and you would like to have a pathfinder, for instance. Of course, you got to have the appropriate credit score to qualify for the pathfinder, for instance. Then they will do it for you. Okay, but it's one of those things where you have to contact PenFed not only over the phone but also go to a branch, sit down with a rep, and ask to have a product change affected on your name. Okay, and one thing I want to say also is that when it comes to PenFed product changes, you got to be aware that the company does not reallocate credit lines, and they will not salvage the credit of any card that you want to close. So before closing a card, if you say, listen, I want to initiate a new application, a new card application, and I want to close an existing card, you're not going to have whatever credit you have on that card salvaged and put onto another card for you. They don't do that. Okay, and the maximum limit on an individual PenFed credit card is $25,000. Now, if you are a PenFed Honors Advantage member, they can go in very rare cases all the way to $50,000. But when we talk about PenFed product change, you need to really understand that PenFed is constantly sort of analyzing its credit exposure vis-a-vis its members. Okay, I mean, you can say that PenFed is stricter when it comes to product changes versus, say, Navy Fed or Service Credit Union or even USAA, for instance. For PenFed, the maximum total credit card exposure remains at $50,000 unless you have negotiated them with them. You have negotiated a higher limit with them. But for all members, the maximum, by default though, the maximum total credit card exposure really is around $50,000 across accounts. And again, we're talking about across accounts. We're not just talking about credit cards or lines of credit or loans or what have you. By the way, PenFed discontinued its lines of credit. The company used to offer lines of credit. Now they don't anymore. They offer loans though. And so if you were to ask about overdraft line of credit, then or other unsecured accounts that you are really thinking about, PenFed will update you on their policy. But what we know for sure is that by default, the maximum credit card exposure is $50,000. If you were to ask about the maximum credit exposure, including credit cards and loans, it can go all the way to $100,000. Okay, and one thing I need to say is that anyone grandfathered in with credit lines above $25,000 per card remain unaffected, but they still actually will be strict when it comes to their $50,000 maximum total credit line. And again, if you make more money, if you have, let's say, direct deposits, you have all kinds of credit products, you have all kinds of products with them. In other words, if you have an MPR, a multi-product relationship with PenFed, they will go in terms of their TCL, the total credit exposure, the total credit line. They can go all the way to 100,000, but this happens very rarely. You have to negotiate that beforehand. And grandfathered card above $25,000 cannot get a credit line increase And so they are really stuck at their current limit unless you basically ask for that. And if you ask for it, you might have like a hard pull. But if you want to increase your chances, you want to beef up your relationship with PenFed across the board, not just in terms of credit products, but also in terms of checking accounts, savings accounts, investment accounts, and so on and so forth. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about PenFed Product Change. How do you actually do it? So I really have established for you that PenFed by default doesn't do product change. If you want that to happen, you're going to have to beef up your NPR with the institution. Big time. I'm talking about big time. And you also want to lengthen your relationship with them in terms of credit union membership. So once you are a member for 5 years or even 10 years, you are able to have better benefits or better access to more credit. And it's important to really understand that because they do not actually do product change, you anything else that you want to initiate will actually trigger a hard pull. That's why you have to be really careful to be sure that you're comfortable with that scenario, right? If you want something new or different, but still want to keep an old card open, you can actually increase. They can actually close the old one and leave more room for a new card. But closing a new account, I mean, closing an account is not always a good idea because you are going to lose the credit you built on that card, right? And that will also have an impact on your credit score because your in terms of CUR, your credit utilization ratio, the foundation that you have will be smaller because you just closed an account. So we do not actually advise you to close a PenFed credit card. It's just better to negotiate with this credit union at the branch to see how they can do a product change for you. So they don't do product change by default, but if you negotiate properly, if you beef up your NPR, you go to a branch, and you also make sure that you are increasing your transaction flow with PenFed. They basically could actually work with you in terms of helping you have a product change in the short run. What we love about PenFed is that if for any reason you do not want to do a product change or you can't do a product change, you always have the possibility to actually increase credit lines. So you can request credit line increases over the phone or through the app, okay, or even online, by the way. So it's very straightforward. You want to log into a PenFed online. You want to find your credit card and click more. As you can see on the screen here, pretty straightforward. So here is an example where for a Platinum Cash Rewards card, you basically currently have 24,000 in credit limits. And if you want to increase it, you have the possibility to do so. But you have to really, you see where it says more in the drop down, you want to click there and you will see request credit card line increase. So this will give you the possibility to actually initiate a credit line increase. So in this case, from 24,000, you might say, you know what, you want to bring it to 30,000, for instance. So this is totally possible. And then you complete the application. And one thing I need to say is that you may not see the option in certain situations, such as if you recently opened a credit card account or you are already at the card's maximum credit limits, because every card has a maximum credit limit. And this is why I was just telling you that you might just be better off going to a branch to ask the credit line increase, because if you submit an application to increase your car's credit limits, this will result in a hard credit inquiry. Okay, it's very rare for PenFed to initiate a credit card line increase without a hard pull. I mean, there are cases where they will do so with a soft pull, but this only happens if a credit decision has been made within the previous previous 3 months. So they have fresh data about you, and so they're pretty comfortable that you have you don't have any sort of significant elephant in the room, so to speak, when it comes to your credit report data. Okay, and it's really important to understand that PenFed and you also want to pay attention to your PenFed internal score. This will help you also know exactly where you are at in terms of product change. So if for any reason you cannot actually have a PenFed product change, or you cannot get a credit card line increase, you have the ability to apply for a new card. Let's say you currently have the gold and you would like to have the Pathfinder Rewards Visa Signature card. You can totally apply, not a problem. Now, you can apply for a credit card with PenFed even if you are not yet a member. So that's really cool. And but before you apply, you want to go to PenFed, okay? And when you're all ready, have your information ready. So we're talking about everything. So because during the application, PenFed will ask you to provide your employment and income, and they're not talking about your income every month. They want to have things annually. So they want to have the gross amount, but also the net amount. And you also need to verify your identity. So that's important. And so you need to find the card you want on PenFed.org. So the card, remember, when we talk about PenFed, we're not speaking about Chase here. Chase has gazillions cards. PenFed only has 4, as I told you when we started this conversation, right? So PenFed has Platinum Rewards Visa Signature Card, Power Cash Rewards Visa Signature, Gold Visa, and Pathfinder Rewards Visa Signature. I mean, all PenFed cards are Visa. So so you really need to find the card that you want, and then you click the green Apply Now button. And if you're a member, use the Already a Member section to log in and start your application. And if you are already logged in, select Products and Rates, and then Credit Cards. If you are not a member, click the blue Apply Now. You can see this on the screen, the blue Apply Now button to get started on your card's application. And so PenFed will go through the process. They'll check everything, and you want to follow the on-screen prompts to complete and submit your application. Keep in mind that you can add authorized users during or after your application. Authorized users receive their own credit cards for use, and you can also complete a balance transfer during your application. So that's really cool, and during which you basically have a transaction that will be processed after you activate your card. So that's really good. And if you received a pre-approval offer, that's totally possible also to initiate something during the process. In other words, you want to go to PenFed.org and click Accept and get started now. You want to enter the offer code from the mailed offer, your last name, and the last 4 digits of your social. And click I'm Not a Robot and complete the reCAPTCHA process. Then click Get Started. Follow the prompts to complete your application. So this is pretty straightforward. Okay. And if you're not yet a member, what happens here is that PenFed will establish a membership for you when your credit card is approved. And if they actually requested documents from you about your application after you submitted it, you can also upload documents online. So that's totally possible. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about PenFed product change. So I give you the overview, the bonus, the approach, and now the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.